Hey everybody, welcome back to another video from RH Midwest Comics, and today I'm going to talk to you about not grading your comics. And no, I don't mean don't ever grade your comics again. What I mean is don't grade the comics that I'm about to show you. I'm going to show you how people are losing money, and a lot of money, grading books that have no business being graded. And here's what I mean. Many of us love sending books to CGC to get graded, or whomever you send books to, right? Whether it's PSA or I guess those are really the only options now, the only real options. But if you're sending your books into CGC, it's it's a lot of fun getting them back, right? It's almost like Christmas morning because you get this package, and unless you've peeked at the grades, you have no idea what kind of grades you're getting back. So it's exciting to get the packages, open them, see the grades. Sometimes you're disappointed, sometimes you're pleasantly surprised, and regardless, it's an exciting thing to do. But if you are in it to make your book more valuable, please don't make the mistake that I'm about to show you. If you're sending your books into CGC, here's what it's roughly going to cost to send it in. If you are doing a modern submission, it's going to cost roughly $30 for the fee. If you're doing a vintage submission, it's going to be $40 or $45. But then you have a $5 fee per tier, and then you've got the shipping costs to CGC and the shipping costs back from CGC. And if you're insuring your books, that costs more money. So I'm going to use just a ballpark number of $50, where if your book is more valuable than $50, maybe that's a good cutoff for determining whether or not you should send your book in. Again, this has nothing to do with books that are nostalgic or have some kind of sentimental value. If that's the case, send it in. It doesn't matter what the value of the book is. The first book I ever bought off the rack was Ghost Rider number 50 from, the Bronze Age series, Johnny Blaze. Awesome book. I remember it like it was yesterday, going to 7-Eleven with my friends, riding our bikes up there, seeing it on the rack. And that book, I have not gotten it graded yet. It's somewhere in my collection, but that thing is probably a 4.0 because it was read 100 times. But that book means something to me. I'll never sell it. And maybe I'll get it graded someday. I won't clean it, press it, nothing. So I get it if there's some kind of value other than monetary value. But let's face it, a large majority of the time, people are sending in books to increase the value of their book. And I get it, whether it's for their collection or if you're a dealer or if you're just doing it to fund your own hobby, right? You're going to sell these books. You're going to get them back. Hopefully, they're more valuable than when they were raw. You're going to sell it, make some money, and do it over and over again and fund the hobby or live your life. So I get it, but it is unbelievable how many books get sent to CGC that are way less valuable than $50, believe it or not. So here's what I'm going to show you. The Comic Link focused auction that just ended recently. I think it ended last week. These auctions go for like 3 or 4 weeks. I'm going to show you some results from that auction, and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about and why you shouldn't grade certain books. And trust me, you're going to be shocked to see how many there are. So let's flip over to it. All right, so here we are. What you're looking at right now is Comic Link's latest focused auction results. So the auction is over for all the comics, and we're looking at the results sorted by highest selling comic. And we're going to change that in a second here. So when you look, the highest selling book in the auction was this Hulk 181 9.8 off-white to white pages, just under $39,000. A lot of money. Believe it or not, that is really low. Even though it's an off-white to white pager, this book is usually in the 50s. So extremely low sale for Hulk 181. Regardless, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to change the order and sort to the lowest prices. And look where it starts, you guys. First book that pops up, the lowest selling book. We have a Fantastic Four, 285, 9.2, that sold for a whopping $1. Or you could have gotten the same book in an 8.0, but a newsstand also for $1. So I don't know if that's a deal or not, but you have your pick of Fantastic Four 285 direct edition or a newsstand, $1 each. And it's kind of crazy, guys, when you look. Dollar. Now you do have some artwork in here, and there are going to be some lots and everything, but a large majority of these are slabs. And I already did the work. So we're going to look at some of these, but I already did the work. If I was saying the cutoff is $50 in value, what page do you have to go to get to $50? Well, I already know the answer. And it's page 50. So you see here, even at page 50, these books are $50. And then as you scroll down, it gets down to like $51 and a little higher. But if there are 50 books per page on Comic Link, and there are 50 pages of books, that means there are roughly 2,500 comic books that sold for $50 or less. Or the way I describe it is books that lost money. Someone along the way lost money getting these books graded because they're spending roughly $50 to get them graded anyway. So let's go back to page 1 and let's look at some of these books that ended at $1 and a little bit higher. So I showed you the FF books, but you have some 9.8s as well. Look at Hero for Hire number 12 from 2007, 9.8, $1. A bunch of Quasar books. Ultimate Human number 2 from 2008. So nothing fancy here. Again, you have some artwork and illustrations, more 9.8s. Look, what is that, a Thanos cover? That's a pretty sweet cover, in my mind. Avengers and Infinity Gauntlet number 2, $6, a whopping $6 for that book. So you can see how the prices start going up. But you know, I don't know who's grading an 8.0 Amazing Spider-Man 395 from 1994. Why are we doing that and selling it for $11? And then you have, so surprisingly, look, here is an early Bronze Age book, Baby Snoots number 10 in an 8.5, also selling for $11. But you can even go all the way back to the Bronze Age and find some of this stuff. But again, 9.8s. What are these? Are these Liefeld covers? A bunch of 9.8s and still selling for what? $11. Lots and lots of 9.8s on here. Here are some more FF books. 282. How many Fantastic Four 282s can you have in one auction? You have a 9.2, a 9.0, an 8.5, an 8.0, and a 7.0. All of them sold for $11. So it looks like the guy who bought the 9.2 got a deal, and the person who got the 7.0 got screwed. Let's go to page 2. I'm not going to show you a ton of these, but just a couple more items I want to point out when we look through these. So you can see the trend here. Right? 2,500 books. And we know there's some artwork in here and some comic book lots, but still over 2,000 slabs that sold for $50 or less. Or another way to say it again is over 2,000 slabs where people lost money. Hulk number 2, the Red Hulk series, and 2 is arguably the first real appearance of Red Hulk, 9.2, again for $11. Outcast number 1. Remember, this book, granted in a 9.8, used to be, I don't know, somewhere close to either $250 or $300 back in 2014 when it first came out. Not anymore. $11. I know it's just a 9.6, but $11 for a 9.6. Here's some more Bronze Age. Ragman number 5 in a 6.0. Who's grading a 6.0? Why? Why are we doing this? Look at this one. She-Hulk, Sensational She-Hulk number 1. Now this book's fairly valuable in a 9.8. I'm guessing here, but maybe a $100 to $200 book. Why a 3.0? Why are we throwing a 3.0 in there? I know it's a newsstand. It doesn't say newsstand on here, but it is a 3.0. Why is it a 3.0? First of all, this looks fantastic. It's got to be missing something. Either the back of the book's got a huge chunk missing, or is it missing something on the inside and the owner decided that They wanted the blue label anyway, and you can do that with CGC. You can say, you can ask them to give you a universal grade instead of giving you a qualified grade. The qualified grade would typically be higher, but if you want the universal grade, they're going to knock you for whatever is missing in the book, right? Whether it's a coupon or a page missing or whatever. But anyways, let's keep going here. Spider-Man #1 from 2012. Pretty nice cover, but again, $11. A lot of $11 sales in here. And here's some more Bronze Age. This is a nice skull cover, by the way. Sword of Sorcery #2. I do like this cover. It was Howard Chaykin and Bernie Wrightson combined to do this cover. And it's only a 6.5, but man, $11. I would crack this sucker out and sell it raw. You could probably get more money for it raw. A skull cover that Bernie Wrightson had a part of, that's pretty nice, you guys. This one's flying under the radar, I think. But anyway, you've got Thor 297. For some reason, somebody thought it'd be a good idea to send in a 7.5. $11. And yeah. Oh, this one's interesting. This one used to be a big key. It's not anymore. First Jane Foster as Thor in the What If universe. What If #10. 5.0 with the white pages. Man, has this book dropped in value. $11. We'll skip all the zombie tramps here. Some more artwork there. And look, they do lots. Comic Link has started to do more lots, which I think is a good idea, because Heritage has been doing that for a long time. And some of these lots get really good money. Now, not this one, $11. But still, I think the more Comic Link does that, the more people will tune in to bid on lots. Bunch of 9/8s here that are all going for $12. Yikes. This 9/8 Spider-Man #22 in a PGX. Poor PGX, but it's getting the same price as the CGC 9/8s, $12. And we'll look at one more page here, and I think I'm making my point. The key here is you've got to know what you're submitting. If you're looking to increase the value of your book, you've got to do your research and understand if this is going to work for you. Silver Age. I am surprised by this one. Showcase #64. Beautiful Spectre cover. The purple, and the green. Now, granted, it's only a 5.0, but it's a sharp-looking book, and it went for $12. So I'm a little bit surprised by that, but, people, you can get deals on Comic Link. We know it. And a lot of these were probably sold. Well, no, July 10th. This was a little bit early on in the auction because it went all the way until, first or second week in August here. This I thought was kind of a cool cover, actually. Spider-Man Revenge of the Green Goblin #1. That's a pretty sweet pumpkin cover. A lot of black on it. But I've actually never seen this cover before. So I kind of want it now. And it looks like I could have gotten it for $12. So my loss. I think that's it. A little more artwork here. These Batman Year One, 404 through 407. If you have these in high grade, they're worth some money. In the 9/8s, I'm guessing they're $100 or $200. But if you send in a 7.0 or a 7.5 and you put them in a CBCS slab, apparently they're only worth $13. This is a pretty slick cover as well. Punisher, shark cover. Like, what more can you want? You have the red in there. It's a pretty sweet cover. And again, only $13. Another high-grade Bronze Age Sword of Sorcery. Again, I think we saw issue #2 earlier. This is issue #4 at 9.6 this time. $13. And finally, I guess we'll just look at these two books. Why is anyone sending in X-Men #1 from 1991 unless it's a guaranteed 9.8? Even at a 9.8, you might get $50 for it, $75 for it these days. But people are sending in 8.0s apparently, and they're selling for $13. So there you have it. Let's wrap it up. All right. So what's the moral of the story here? I am not telling anyone to grade or not to grade books. Well, I guess I kind of am because I don't want to see people lose money like that. And maybe it's not a ton of money they're losing, but man, if every auction there are over 2,000 books that are selling for essentially the cost to grade or less, then there's a lot of money being lost as time goes by here. So, moral of the story is grade what you want to grade, but do your research first. If you're in it to increase the value of your book, you've got to do the research first. Go to places like GPA. If you don't want to pay for a membership, talk to a friend that has it. I've got a membership. I give people information all the time, but it's worth, in my mind, the whatever, $11 or $10.95 a month. It's worth it if you're sending in a lot of books to CGC. And you can also use Go Collect, and I think there are a couple other tools out there. I don't use those. GPA, I think, is the most accurate in my mind. But do your research and look up values. You can also look up sold values on eBay as well. And if you're not seeing the book that you're looking to send in selling, like if you see no sales and you're guessing like, hey, I might have a 7.0 or an 8.0 here, you're not seeing any of those sell or even listed, you probably shouldn't send it in. And I think the other problem is people don't know how to grade. That is a bigger problem because some of these books on here, if they were higher grades, they would have sold for a lot more money. I guess that's the other lesson learned here is learn how to grade. Get a book. CGC has a book. Look up things online. Look up YouTube videos. There is a lot of information out there on how to grade. If you learn how to grade and do it really well, you don't have to become an expert, but you're going to do much better at deciding what books to send into CGC. Trust me. Just learn the basics for now, and you got to get close. And then as time goes by, you'll get better and better at the grading. And sometimes you got to take it on the chin a little bit when you get the books back from CGC and you realize like, all right, I got to brush up on my grading skills. So that's part of the fun in my mind. Here's another question I have. What does Comic Link do when a book sells for $1? What do they do? I think they take a flat 10%, but if the book sells for $1, do they only take 10 cents? And then the seller gets 90 cents? How does that work? I assume they have a minimum fee, right? It's 10%, but a minimum of something, right? Usually it's like $5 maybe. But what do they do on these books that are selling for $1? If you know, let me know in the comments. So again, send in what you like, have fun with it, but please do your research and stop losing money. Don't send in the books that I showed you to get graded. That's it for now. Let me know your thoughts on this whole video. Why do you think people are sending in these books that really have almost zero value? Are they just not educated, or is it for other reasons? Are they just trying to off them, get rid of them, and they don't care what kind of money they get back? Probably a mix of things, right? But anyway, looking forward to reading your comments, and until next time, have a great day.